Good evening, everybody. My name is Yulia Stadnichuk, and I'm the representative of the International Public Movement Politics 2.0. Welcome to my stream here on our English language channel. We usually do our regular streams to inform about the situation in Russia, but today I would like to speak about how we act and the basics of our approach to the international politics, to the international level activities. First of all, let me just greet you once again and congratulate all the Orthodox Christians with Pascha, Christ has risen. This is something that really unites us, and most of the members, all of the members of our movement, are Orthodox Christians, in fact. So this is something that really unites us and allows us to share common basics, common approach to politics, really. So we being members of Politics 2.0 public movements base our judgment and view all the situation in Russia and in international politics from the point of view of Politics 2.0 concept, which implies that all the citizens are supposed to be executing their authority directly without this representative caste of politicians. And this digital era we are living in actually provides everything we need to make it feasible, to make it part of our lives. And we've managed to introduce digital services and all those information technologies in all spheres of our lives, except for politics. You know, we have financial solutions, this fintech, we have medical solutions, new technical approaches to and new services of new medical help with the help of new technology developed. But we still have this, old school politics with those people counting papers and acting as if nobody except for them can actually read a law and understand what's written in this. But we now have internet, we have now access to libraries, to consultants, to all kinds of advice, and actually we can do it ourselves. We do not need this political caste. We've had a number of videos with the information about our approach, about Politics 2.0. You might find them by the link. I'll share this link under the video at the end of this. So you may find this link to the number of videos about Politics 2.0. And today I would like to speak about this international level of activity, because it is also needed, and it's very important in the modern world. International politics, international legal framework actually helps coordinating activity, global trade, and being Russians and having experienced all this, Russia joining the international trade after Perestroika era, we are really skeptical about this global trade on the one hand, but on the other hand, we understand that we all live on Earth and we need to cooperate, we need to trade somehow, we need to maintain our relations, we need to cooperate on international level no matter how far we are situated from each other. At the same time, protecting our sovereignty, protecting our traditional way of life, traditional values, and our actually national legal framework and our constitution, and that is what sovereignty is in fact. So we, being quite skeptical, we understand that really trade is required, and cooperation and coordinating of activities is really also required. And we need to establish international laws and to maintain these laws and this legal system to have this controllable system of, stability of peace, of international peace as well. Let me just tell you once again that we are not officials, members of our movements, and we represent this kind of network structure. We are not hierarchical structure with some leader and the others following the leader. We are this flat network structure, and each citizen, each member of our movement can act on his own, on her own, and everybody's quite independent, just as it is supposed to be by the Constitution of the Russian Federation. But we do not have access to any kind of secret information. We do not, we do not have people in Kremlin telling us how things are. We do not have all those, people explaining us what Prime Minister really meant and what it all J really meant. We can only base on what is published officially and openly, on the information you may find in media or which is said by the officials during their press conferences and their interviews, or probably in somebody's live journals, or their some comments and something else. That's only these are the only sources of information for us. But as public politics 2.0, as the movement, and just like the movement and the concept of politics 2.0 actually grew from Father Athanasius' live book. Father Athanasius is the elder from Holy Mount Athos, and he started writing his live book about what was going on with Russia and what Russia needs really to go back to normal life from the point of view of monk, of Orthodox Christian monk. And we all, first of all, we were readers of this book, and then we united into the movement and started acting and implementing these these basic values and ideas into politics and real life, without violating any law, just following the constitution and following the law. So we use this Athonian principle of reasoning. We make our judgments by analyzing information, comparing it to what we know, comparing to what we've heard about the same people and the same issues before, and thus making our judgment and thinking and assessing how things are likely to be developing. And it's likely, from what we know, from what we've witnessed over the past years, that we are pretty much correct about what is going on, and thus we pursue this approach further on. So, speaking about our international activity, if we just have a look at this international legal framework that exists right now, it is also based, just like the Constitution and generally the idea of human rights. This legal framework is based on the idea that the source of power is the nation. Democracy is the power derived from the people. So just the very source of power is the person himself. The person is totally free and has total sovereignty over himself or herself. And a person delegates the authority. Being a citizen of some country, a person delegates the authority to elected official. And then with all this delegated authority, an elected official then appoints officials to act on international level, on international arena, to execute the international politics of a country, which is supposed to be based on the Constitution. And the Constitution is the document approved by the nation during a referendum. So thus, any international policy of any state basically goes down to the initiative, to the power from a certain person being delegated to the elected official. And thus, our approach in Politics 2.0, since we do know that the politicians right now, the officials right now, are not acting according to our will like they're supposed to. They are acting according to their will, and we have no control over them. And this is the situation, the same in not only Russia, it's the same all over the world. Once you elect a person to be a deputy, a parliamentarian, or some kind of appointed official, you have no control over this elected official until the next elections. But that's quite a long period of time during which this elected official manages to do so much harm that is really hard to fix it quite often. And we then have elections, but this is not the way it should be. Actually, we are supposed to have control over them because they are supposed to implement our will, not their will, but our will. And thus, we, knowing that right now, the technological era we live in, the progress in technology and science in these gadgets and the approaches to storing and protecting information brought us to the point where it is actually possible to make each person connected to the political life, to make every person a real actor of a political life. We do not delegate our authority to this political class. We do not need them. We've been witnessing what they have been doing to our country over the past 30 years. We've had enough of them. We've seen them destroying our country, destroying our lives, destroying our traditional values, and destroying life around us. We do not want them to do this anymore. We will manage our country ourselves perfectly well without them. And now we're actually seeing that they are trying to appoint their children. They are bringing their children to their positions, and they are blocking the way for a person, for just a normal person, for a normal citizen who wants to go for elections, who wants to become a deputy, and probably this person has a lot of support, but the way is blocked, really. They're blocked by the officials because they want to form a casta to which you cannot enter, and nobody gives out, nobody falls out of this casta. This is not democratic. This is not the way it is supposed to be. It is not our will for them to form this. So we do not want them to rule our life, and thus we are not delegating our authority to them. As a kind of official activity to inform the system and to prove the fact that we haven't delegated our authority, we keep our ballot paper. Ballot paper is an internationally acknowledged constitutional document, which proves, once you get this paper, this document proves that you are a citizen, you have your rights, your political rights, you have a right to take part in the election, and thus keeping these documents, you prove that you actually keep your power to yourself. You do not delegate your power, you keep it to yourself. According to the current existing international legal framework and the basic human rights and the majority of the constitution, or just the basic laws in the countries, a person, each citizen, has a right to execute the power directly or via these elected officials or state bodies or state organs. So since we can execute the power directly, we can execute it directly on national level, and we speak a lot about this during our videos, but we can also do this on international level, because international, as we've said already, international politics really matters. It has a huge influence on the internal life, on the life, on how things are inside of a country. And whether a country is joining some international agreement or leaving some international agreement, it really influences the country and the life of citizens. So thus, we believe that taking part in international activity and representing a country on the international level is really important. And for us, it is also important because we are very serious and very, very responsible as to what is happening with our country. Our country is something for us, is something for our children. That is where we want to live. We want to leave the country to our children to live. We want to preserve the country, to preserve the national way of life and its national flavor, the traditions we have, the faith we have, just generally speaking, the life we have and the nation with all what comes with it. And thus we need to protect the interest of our country on international level as well. Considering this idea of politics 2.0, we believe that we need to claim our rights on international level and demand, because we do represent our nation and ourselves, and we only act according to the Constitution. We do not violate Constitution, we do not violate laws. We respect laws very much. This is something according to which we live. And this is something which provides life to us, in fact. And that is life, meaning general organization of our life, general management of our life. And thus we believe that we are to demand the international organizations, like those organizations of which our country is a member of, to develop some sort of protocol of representation of us, the citizens, who haven't delegated their authority to the elected officials. This is one point. Another point is that we are ready to prove in any court of any level that the existing regime in Russia, we are ready to provide our evidence. We are ready to prove what we have done and show the documents and show and bring witnesses who are ready to witness about what's been going on. We will prove that current regime in Russia and in other countries of the former Soviet Union, other regimes anti-constitutional, destroying lives and acting against the sovereignty of the country. So if you think who is more entitled to represent the nation, whether it be elected President Putin, with all these things that he's done against the sovereignty of the country, or the citizens with their authority, who haven't delegated their authority, who've acted only according to the constitution and who focused their activity on protecting the sovereignty and establishing and protecting and maintaining law and order in the country, I guess this is, room for discussion and really strong discussion. So thus, we believe we are to demand this protocol to be developed by the United States, United Nations, by other organizations, and as well directly communicating to other countries, because one of the very important points of international activities, like those international events, summits, and like G8, G20 meetings and all that. A lot of things are being discussed there. And the only reason why President Putin, President Biden, Chancellor of Germany, and other leaders of the world can be presented there is not because they are friends, good friends, and are happy to see each other, but because each of these leaders represent the state according to the constitution and the laws of the state. They act there not as physical, like physical entities, not like persons, not like people, but they act there as legal entities, in fact, as representatives of the country, like the voice of the nation. And the things they're discussing and signing there, they are signing on behalf of their nations, not on behalf of them as persons control of who are not responsible for anything. And thus, in case some leader of a country is not representing all of the nation, and there are other people in the country who can prove that this leader is not representing them, then, according to this basic logic of the international events, these citizens are to get presence at such events because their will really matters from the point of view of what is the international policy of the state. We do know that the Russian regime and Putin and his administration and the ministers who, actually, according to the Russian laws, the Ministry for Foreign Affairs is directly controlled by the president. So it goes up to the president. We know it's actually no use communicating to them, because we've tried to fix quite a lot of things and quite a lot of violations of law, which we've seen in our country, and we see it doesn't work. So we are going to apply another approach. We will be communicating directly to the countries, to the administrations of the leaders of the countries that president of our country is going to meet with, and inform them about us and our activity and the legal backgrounds for this approach that we are making. We've had this experience already while this Kurili crisis with Japan. If you just go into this question, you will know, into this issue rather, you will know that Japan believes that part of Kurili Islands belongs to Japan. We do believe this is territory of Russia, and this is a source of conflict for us. And Japan really wants this territory to be to get control of this territory. And actually, from what we know about Putin's administration activities, they've given away quite a lot of territory of Russia to other countries. And thus, we actually have no reason to doubt that they are eager to give away this territory as well. But we, the citizens of Russia, the responsible citizens of Russia who haven't delegated their authority, we are protecting the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of our country as it is supposed to be in the constitution, as it is supposed to be according to our constitution. We are not allowing our country to be like torn apart into smaller parts and given away to other countries. A country is nothing without a territory, and our territorial integrity is the vital parts of vital importance to the survival of our country. So we've written directly to Prime Minister of Japan and to the Embassy of Japan in Russia in Moscow, informing them that such activity of Putin administration as giving away territory is actually illegal activity. It contradicts the existing constitution and declaration of independence and the laws of Russia. And we, being the citizens of Russia, being very responsible citizens of Russia and law-abiding citizens, we are eager to protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of our country. And we will be challenging in courts of all levels any decision which will lead to the separation of parts of territory of Russia in favor of any other country. And since we have proof and we have documents proving this fact, we are pretty much sure that our case will be successful and we will prove that we are right. And actually, this negotiation stopped after our activity. And we've heard the president, the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Russia, even being kind of, sad and speaking that the Russian administration is ready to discuss the cooperation with Japan further on, but Japan stopped these negotiations because, being a country, an independent country, and country very specific, but particularly about documents, they understand that making illegal steps will bring this case to court. And this is the approach we will be applying in our international activities and our international steps. And actually, we are ready to share experience. We are discussing quite openly everything we do. We are publishing our documents. We are providing links to our documents and to prove that we have. So we are ready to answer any questions if you have any. And we will be applying this approach further on in our negotiations with administrations of other countries. So we now know that a summit of two of Putin and Biden is being discussed among the administrations. According to the Russian laws, the any meeting of the president is being prepared by the administration of the president. So we'll be negotiating directly with the other party of this summit to inform them of the necessity of our presence at this meeting. And any kind of, we are pretty much sure that we will get either no reply or we'll get some kind of negative reply or something. We do understand how things are in fact right now, but we have tested our approach here in internal politics, and we've been doing this since 2018. And our approach and our persistence in our approach and the consistency of our efforts proved to be really effective and proved that it brings a lot of result to us and a lot of new ways and new approaches that we can implement. Not approaches, but rather new ways, new steps, and new ideas. So we will be going this way. We'll be applying this approach, and we'll be communicating directly. And depending on the reply, we will consider further steps, probably steps like challenging in courts and international courts and writing claims to international organizations in order to get this protection of our political rights, because we cannot get this protection in Russia. One of the very important things that we need to understand about the international human rights protecting principles is that basically when you go to some kind of Human Rights Bureau, Human Rights Watch Bureau of the United Nations, or you go to the Hague Criminal Courts, or you go to European Courts for Human Rights, you always face such instructions which go like, firstly, you have to go to apply to your national laws in law protecting organizations and national courts. And in case you do not succeed, then please go to our organization and we will be happy to help you. That is something we have done. And this is something which we've been doing for a lot of time already with a number of reasons. And we see that it's not just we are not succeeding. We see that in some cases, our courts are ready to violate laws and even do not want to view our case. They do not accept our case for consideration with illegal grounding. They provide illegal grounding, so you do not find these reasons that they provide in law. So we cannot go to court in Russia. We are happy to go to court to Russia. We are ready, and we've proved that we are ready. We've applied a number of times in our courts. This court system just fails to work properly, and thus we are turning to international organizations. This is our approach. So before going there, we've tried our national judgment jurisdiction, and then we're going further on. And this is the approach we believe that should be applied everywhere. First, you try your national courts, and then you go to international courts. One more thing that I would like to just discuss a little bit right now is a very popular among those so-called COVID skeptics, COVID dissidents thing. A number of lawyers led by Dr. Rainer Füllmich from Germany or from the United States have announced that they are initiating a new Nuremberg courts against World Health Organization. This is a totally different approach for ours. We are not a part of this activity. We go a totally different way. And actually, we are right now seeking ways to get in touch with Dr. Rainer and get some information as what is he really doing, which court is he going to, how is he going to initiate Nuremberg process. Because according to currently existing legal framework, international legal framework, there is some process of initiating a Hague, a case to be reviewed in Hague criminal court. That is like starting from the United Nations Security Council and further on. But there is no such protocol of like initiating a new Nuremberg process. This protocol simply doesn't exist. So we are looking for ways to understand what they are doing. But it is most likely to be the case that we are going totally different way. We're applying totally different approach. And our approach is based on the Constitution of Russia, on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, on the United Nations Statute, I'm sorry, I forgot the words, on the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. These are the documents we are basing our activity on. These are basic documents for the current, for this existing international legal framework. And thus we are sure that we are really correct, but we want the court to review our cases, and we want to get the reply from the court, and that is something we want, this justice, and that's justice we are pursuing, and that is why we are going this legal way. So this is something I wanted to discuss today. I guess that might be quite a lot of new information. In case you have some questions, please let us know. We will be happy to just give some more information about our experience, about our approaches. Probably there are some things that are not clear about why Russia or why we or something else, or you have some questions about us. Please just let us know what the questions are, and I'll post a link to our English language playlist for you to learn what Politics 2.0 is and what our approaches is right after the end of this video of the stream. In this description box down below this the video. So thank you so much for your attention. Please join our channel in case you have any questions. Please ask your questions, and see you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.